the nitty-gritty. Conversations get real live, it's time for the nitty-gritty. The revolution's not televised, it's time for the nitty-gritty. Reaching out to your conscious mind, it's time for the nitty-gritty. More than talking, we taking action, it's time for the nitty-gritty.
What's up, IG? We up. Facebook, we up. There we go. Facebook, we up. If you're wondering who we listening to, this is Eric Belliger. Cuffin Season Part 2 is the album. The song is Year Round. We're going to talk about, the name of the album is Cuffin Season. Cuffin Season Part 2.
So this is supposed to help for the cuffing season.
Well, the song is called Year Round, so actually he's talking about like, he's trying to be cuffed up year round. He ain't trying to do this for like the cold months.
So he ain't trying to be exclusive, he's trying to be cuffed up. Interesting.
You know, we'll get into that. Lana, what's up? So anyways, it's your boy, Take the Costume.
It's your girl, Katniss.
And together we are the Nitty Gritty. Yeah, so if you just joined in, I was playing a little Eric Belliger. He got a lot of dope tracks, you know what I'm saying? If you need like a little good, like little love, you know, like how we just put the little playlist together. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A bunch of y'all got them together right now.
For our college viewers, you know, this might be, you know.
This might be a good, hey, it might be a good move for you. Cuffin Season Part 2, I'm just saying, it might be a move for you. There's a lot of dope tracks on here. And this
might be something.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Oh, the McKinneys are.
We have the McKinneys in the building.
Mr. and Mrs.
And then, of course, sitting next to us right now, we have Simona White.
Woo!
She's the extended family of the Nitty Gritty Show. You know what I'm saying? She's definitely extended family Nitty Gritty Show. So we're excited to have her back on.
Thanks, friend.
You know, we love having our regulars.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the hair, girl. I like that. Yeah. Y'all both looking real fabulous already today. I like it. So Lana says, hey, Nitty Gritty. At Cat, love the glasses.
Thanks,
they swaggy, right? They swaggy. Then we got Chrissy saying
something different. They're big. Really big.
Oh, you know what? That feels good to hear that from you, Chris. He says, y'all have given us Sunday night ritual. I appreciate that. Because, you know, you could be anywhere, but not today. Because
you could be anywhere.
You could be anywhere,
but
though.
you here with us.
But you chose to be here today. Amen.
We
Let's start passing the tithe, like, you know, collection plate around. You know, taking these donations. You know, like give you a really good show, get you hyped up, and that's when you pass the plate, get Cat to sing. Because I say doing it, nothing against church. I know what church do. But I'm just saying though, I'm just saying like they get it going, people get the shout, and then they go, pass that plate around. Look, pass that plate. Why they excited? Pass that plate around. So yeah, this is gonna be good. So anyways, excited about our show today. We got a lot of ground to cover.
Yep.
And no better person to join us for today's conversation than Simona. She brings a lot of great energy, so this is going to be hilarious. We're going to be talking about dating. We're going to be talking about relationships. Then we're going to talk a little bit about these pastors going wild. Pastors is wild out here.
Is it pastors going wild or just pastor going wild?
Yo, Brian, what's up? Cashville, Tennessee. What's good?
Which one do you say? Pastor going wild or pastors?
Well, we'll say pastor going wild, but there were some old videos that have been resurfacing again now because of this pastor. Okay. So I said pastors. I'm happy to say that my pastor tries to lead people closer to God. It's not even about him. Shout out Reverend Watley. He ain't with that foolishness. You know what I'm saying? He won't let the sisters even get too close to him in church. He'd be like, there you go. Hey, shout out Reverend Watley though. Great guy. I see you, frat. Anyways, let's go over some current news real quick before we get started. Brexit. For those that don't know, the Brexit Super Conference was Saturday, so yesterday. And for those that don't know, America is not the only country having white nationalism or just nationalist attitudes. It's a big thing in France right now because they have an issue against, especially Muslim immigrants. They get treated horribly in France. We see this issue also in England right now. They want to be separated from the rest of the European society or other nations. They feel like they're better. And we've talked about nationalism on the show. And basically what nationalism is when you love your country to the point that you think you're better than other people. It's one thing to have pride, like the Olympics is going to be next year. We're going to cheer for America. We're going to cheer for Jamaica, for all of my Jamaican family out there. But we're going to do it, but at the end of the day, we're not going to spit on other people. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be like, oh, I cheer for my people and we're better than you. And, you guys come from, as whole countries and all that crap. It's going to be like, hey, we won. But at the end of the day, it's a world community.
Right.
The nationalist take is, they just think they better than other people to the point that they're willing to harass, kill, and intimidate those that they feel like aren't truly of their country. And what happens is it ends up in these European nations or America, it ends up being white people that feel like they're more so entitled to the country than others.
Well, what I think is interesting is that, they feel this way to other minorities, and then when minorities get here, they don't want to associate with black people because they feel like, well, technically I'm not white, but at least I'm not a...
Yeah, exactly.
That's
right?
how they feel.
And,
That's exactly how they feel because they feel like treating, like, it's funny how sometimes you'll go to a carry out or DC lingo in a curry out here, or you'll go to the hair store and they treat you like you are trash, you're irrelevant. It's like, I am patronizing your business here, but it's because they understand the history of black folks in this country and they feel like, yeah, I'm a minority, but at least I'm not a Negro, so I'm still a step above you. And they use their colorism as a factor as to reasons why they feel like they're not a Negro, because they feel like, well, I'm a little bit lighter than y'all, so technically I have a little more privilege than you. And you should really, really sit back, if you are a minority, listen to this and think about that, because if you're in other countries getting treated badly or poorly, why do you think it's appropriate to come over here and still perpetuate the same social stigmas against black folks just because that's what you heard or you perceived? At the end of the day, what people need to understand is that America would not be America if it was not for black Americans. We built it, and we should be credited for it. And at the end of the day, colorism runs deep. And to try to be something other than yourself because you were persecuted and you feel like, well, maybe being Muslim is bad or maybe being Asian is bad because you want to be more European, you're actually doing yourself a disservice instead of just being happy with who you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's craziness. So, that's a worldwide phenomenon. This one be like, sometimes people think something is only happening in their country because we're so close to the experience. But, the struggle that black people are going through, other minorities are going through the exact same thing in their areas.
Yeah, but they come here and act brand new.
Yeah, no, that's true. But that's why we need to create a unified front on that. So it's something to bring up. Also, Trump and Giuliani tripping. They will not submit. They've put out multiple statements how they're not going to submit to congressional subpoenas, which is wow. I mean, basically, Trump and some of his, cronies, they're operating above the law, and they're getting away with it. So I just think voters, even if you voted for Trump and them, whoever you are, you might want to really reconsider your vote. Like, if you really are as pro-American as you say you are, if you're all about preserving what this nation is supposed to be built on for those, because these are the patriotic terms we hear, you need to think about when somebody's obstructing justice and when somebody refuses to submit to the justice of that country, is that really the proper representation that you want? I'm just saying, like,
He's supposed to be the leader.
Yeah, and he won't submit, but, there's been problems with that.
Well, Trump think he above the fray.
Yeah, I mean, he like the Teflon Don, but he can't get touched. You know what I'm saying? Kim, what's up? Shout out all the way from Orlando, Florida. We see you in the building.
Trump, like, he feel like he untouchable. He like, I am the epitome of white privilege.
But who's
Kim, you stay around for this conversation. We're talking about relationships. I know you got a lot to say. You post all the time.
That's the thing. No one's stopping him.
No one is stopping
I don't know if it's because he has
him.
money or what.
And that's the thing. Like, the Democrats look really weak in the House. They've been letting him get away with so much, and I wish they would just, Nancy Pelosi. I mean, it's a shame we lost Elijah Cummings this week. He passed away, and he was such a force to be reckoned with in the Democratic Party. It leaves a void. I think the rumors are saying that his wife may run to take his seat. So we'll see how that goes.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And then, before, last little tidbit on there's some current news before we move on to our real topic of conversation. Pastor Paul, I see you. Before we go on to our topic of conversation, Clinton is still running her mouth in the streets. She's talking about Gabbard is being groomed by the Russians. She's got all kind of crap to say about everyone. I just need her to sit down and relax. I need
her to sit down.
Because I got this fear that she thinks like, okay, because the situation looks weak as far as our candidates right now, there's a lot of like up in there about like, man, no one really looks strong enough to beat Trump. I think she's thinking in the back of her head like, hey, this could be Hillary versus Trump 2.0. No, we're good on that, all right? It didn't work for the Republicans with Mitt Romney. It ain't going to work for you, boo. Right. I'm going to need you to go ahead and sit down. You should have never ran in 2016.
Just
but
enjoy retirement, honey.
Yeah, because she was talking about being mayor of New York.
Because truth be told,
wilding.
but the thing is, if we start really going into the skeletons of the Clintons, y'all do know y'all praise the Clintons as being almost black and they untouchable. You understand the prison pipeline increased. I mean, it was already really bad before the Clintons, but it doubled when the Clintons got in there because of the bill that they passed.
Not just
about
that,
stop and
because
frisk.
everybody wanted people to be tough on crime, but then also you have to look at, Joe Biden was the author of the '94 crime bill, because everybody wanted to be able to compete against what the Republicans were saying about being tough on crime. During the Reagan years, even though Contra happened, even though the CIA sold drugs into America, you remember his wife did the whole thing about, just say no.
Mm-hmm.
That campaign was ran under the Reagans. And it was kind of like, while we destroy black communities on one end, we'll put out ads and whatever to make my wife look good, Nancy, about just say no. So it's amazing how in politics you can say and represent one thing and do a whole other behind closed doors. Just saying, just something to put out there.
All right.
But what y'all all been waiting for, this is why you're here, because you've been asking for relationship talk. We haven't had enough relationship talk. We're going to talk about dating. We're going to talk about relationships. We'll get the pastors going wild. Pretty sure Pastor Paul got a lot to say about that too. But anyways, so let's talk about dating, right? Everybody know it is cuffing season, right? People wanted to get booed up. People are out there mingling. Just a few months ago, everybody had their booty out. Fellas was trying to look good. Now it's like you want something consistent. You want to make sure that, you have a proper supply of some booty. Because that's how some brothers look at it. That's how some dudes look at it.
Wait.
I'm not saying that I'm supporting
Let's
it.
back it up. What do you consider proper booty?
Well, I mean,
does that mean not fake? Not fake? Does that mean proper?
no, I'm not getting into that. I'm talking about, but some guys want that one person that they continually get some from. During the season, they don't want to be out there necessarily spreading it around. They're like serial monogamous.
So is that what guys do during cuffing? I thought cuffing for some guys is, a rotation of maybe 2 or 3.
No, some guys want the one. Some guys want one, but they still gonna drop them off before Valentine's Day.
Drop them off.
Only when it's cold, as the spring comes.
So the girl guys are getting excited like, I think I got a boyfriend, and then Valentine's Day.
Some of these dudes out here vicious. It's about to start kicking off quick. Let me read some comments real quick. So Lana said she may be a plant. She's too scripted. Don't know. I agree.
Who, Hillary?
She should chill. She's talking about Hillary. Yeah. Then we have Paul Thompson saying, "Let's go." I knew he was ready for this. And Lana said, "Proper pause." All right. But I'm just saying, like, okay. Speaking from the fellas, right? They can probably leave me hanging out the drive. I'm just saying, there's some brothers when it gets cold outside, it's like, and I think men and women do this, right? Springtime comes, everybody wants to be free. You see a lot of women start traveling, more so than men. You know what I'm saying?
Springtime?
Springtime, everybody start doing their little girls trips. Y'all start off early. Y'all y'all start in April. You know what I'm saying? Beginning of the year, y'all doing the girls trip. The ones that haven't cuffed up yet, they're like, bumping, I don't need a man. Y'all upset. Y'all be like, we're doing a girls trip for New Year's Eve, right? Am I lying? Okay. But anyway, springtime, y'all really start doing y'all trips, y'all out there. Then in the summertime, the brothers is like, yeah, I'm gonna put a couple coins together. We're gonna go to Costa Rica. We're gonna go to Brazil. And y'all know what brothers do in Brazil and Costa Rica, all right? They wildin'. They spread that thing around, big time. I hope I ain't telling on nobody. If you're a brother out there, you got a trip to Brazil planned or Costa Rica, I hope you're a single brother and not in a relationship. Because basically, I just told your wife or girlfriend you about to cheat on me.
Well, let's get into this relationship thing. So,
Well, let's still talk about dating.
Okay, well, dating. So, I showed one episode of Love Mac. What's it called? Ready to Love. It's on Oxygen. And so, they have 10 girls and 10 guys. And they come into this situation where they get to, date serially with different people. And they get to cast their vote of who they feel like needs to get kicked out of the group because they're not really vibing with people. So there was this one guy, and he's talking very suggestive to the girl. I guess they kicked it off really well. So he texted her, and he was like, what would you say if I was pleasuring you? What kind of names would you call me? And she was like really turned off, like, yo. So my question is, guys, I don't know. I know women tell you to be aggressive, but in my mind, being aggressive is only received in the positive light when you automatically know that she's feeling you, like for real. When a guy is aggressive and it's like on the cusp, it comes across as awkward to me. Like, why are you coming to me so sexually? Like you're being weird. Now, if the guy undoubtedly knows I'm feeling you and he's aggressive, then that's when it's like, okay, that's cute because I like you. But if it's like we're still trying to get to know each other, you're talking about you know, what would you say if I was pleasuring you? This is date 2, homie. What do you mean? Why would you even think about that?
I want to get Simona's thoughts on that. Before I get to that, let me read some comments because we had a bunch of them. So Chris McKinney said, I was a pimp all year round. I don't know about seasons. Funny. Then Lana, his wife, that's why they're such an amazing couple, right? She said, girls trip for All-Star Weekend. That was my former life. Paul said, I would never go to Brazil. No, sir. That's right. You faithful to Nikki. We know you ain't going nowhere. So, yeah. So, like, give us your opinion on that, Simona. You cracking up over here. To the whole Katrina thing, guys being too aggressive, too sexually aggressive. Because there was a guy that told one of the girls, what did he say again? He said something about her booty. Like first conversation, he was talking about her butt.
Then another guy was like, yeah, you know, I got big lips. I like to eat, and they all like,
he's talking about giving her oral sex.
This is like the first date, and it's like in a group setting. Like, what are you thinking about?
Enjoying this.
Yo, Rich, what's up? Shout out. He said, Clark's Vegas.
Well, he thinks it's a waste of time to watch it like that. I find it entertaining.
But it is funny.
I do want to hear from y'all. So, in my opinion, when a guy is meeting a girl for the first time, what do you feel is appropriate or not appropriate, and what kind of, I guess, normal signals should a man take into account before he starts making sexually suggestive comments? Because some of these comments were like so far out.
They was like way out of left field. It was like, what? That was a strike and a miss.
Yeah.
So anyway, Simona, what do you think?
I just think like you can tell the type of person that he's probably been talking to because somebody told him that was okay. So that's why he's always led with that because it worked. So he leads with that. But then when you encounter somebody that you actually have to maybe talk to a little more than other people, you have to give them substance. You can't just lead with, let me see your dick pic. You know, it doesn't work.
I have a story about that. I'll never forget. There was this guy I met in grad school, there was a guy I met in grad school, and he was like, "Oh, do you wanna link up to study?" I said, "Sure." Okay. So we exchanged numbers, me, him, and like a group of us. We met, we studied, and then like later that night, he like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, watching TV." And then thereafter, he sends a dick pic.
There it is.
And I'm just like,
wow, there you go.
What just happened from A to Z?
He's just trying to let you know.
And I was like, sir, first of all, there's nothing sexy about a man sending no picture of his wank. Like, why are you sending me a picture of your wank? Like, just like, it's in the same boat of like male strippers. Nothing about that is sexy. No one wants to see a thing flapping around. Like,
she said, I love it.
It's just not, it's not
all ones.
It's not sexy at all. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna kind of disagree a little bit. So
on the pole, you like it on the pole?
Not on the pole. That's weird.
That's not okay.
That's what you meant.
Okay. So let me differentiate.
Okay, you said male stripper. So I was like, hold on.
A man with like abs and such dancing. Okay, that's one thing. But a man twirling around naked with the thing just flapping. Nothing about that is sexy. Neither is a dick pic. Just don't do it. Just don't.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Just don't do it.
So the thing with dick pics is you have to have permission. There's sometimes when that's what you want. So
does a guy ask permission?
No, we ask if we want it. If we haven't asked, if we haven't sent you, if we sent
fellas,
you something,
can you say that one more time for the fellas in the back that don't know? You know what I'm saying? Because they be out here wilding.
They just like, let's just leave with that. Like, why?
So I'm gonna read some comments real quick. So Lana, she said, don't lead with the wing. Just be normal. Paul said, a man being sexually aggressive with a woman he's never met is 100% creepy. You gotta have some flex and be able to feel the vibes.
That's what I'm saying. You know what? Feel the vibes. So please.
Now I'm in sales, right? Mm-hmm. And one thing about sales, right? It's funny because something that they often say in sales, no matter what kind of sales you're in, they're always like, you know, typically if you can sell really good, you can also talk to women really well. I don't know if that's true, but I will say this: there's something to be learned there. Whenever you're in sales, if you're really good at your job, I'm not talking about no snake oil salesman, I'm talking about a really good salesperson listens to the client, understands what their needs are, and you apply whatever services that you're selling or products based off that need. They come in saying, I want a belt, and you're like, okay, well, what kind of belt are you looking for? What kind of clothes are you wearing? You know, what would best accompany what you're trying to do? You could be selling computers, and the same thing is like, well, what do you need your computer to do? How do you use your computer normally? And then you align that product to that person's need. Very few people do that. And if you was to translate this to dating for men and women, right? Mm-hmm. too often people go in there with their preconceived idea or assumption of what the other person wants. There are some women being extra sexual on like IG because they're assuming that's what's going to give me likes and that's what the guys want, and they want it, just not long term, right? Then also, even with men, they assume that women want a guy that's flashing money, so they put on this facade of being a baller. But some girls don't even want to do with a lot of money. Yeah, they want you to be able to pay your bills on time. But some girls, I know plenty of women that have said, if I could just find a dude that I can trust, who's loyal, who can communicate, who can tend to my needs, who can just have a conversation.
That's it.
You know, I don't need them to have a lot of money. I see it all the time, right? Ladies, can I get an amen if I'm saying something correct?
I think that's absolutely cool.
So I just think sometimes we just need to do a better job of listening to the people we're encountering. And sometimes if you listen closely, if you're a dog type dude, you run across around women who are kind of like dog type women, and they'll pretty much let you know, but you gotta have a conversation first.
Well, on the flip side, during the show, there was definitely some comments about some of the women being too aggressive, like to the point where the women were going up like, "Oh, you sexy. We need to go out and go on a date," or the guy would be talking to another woman and she was interested, so she would just walk up there like, "You've been talking to her the whole time, why you not talking to me?" So I want to get the fellas' standpoint on that. Like, do you think it is attractive for a woman to pursue you and ask you out on the date, or do you still have that old school mentality where you feel like you should be doing the pursuing? Does it catch you off guard? Are you turned on by a woman who knows what she wants, or are you like, that's a little much?
Yeah, so I want to hear y'all thoughts before as you guys are typing up your thoughts. Let me read some comments. So coming from Pastor Paul Thompson, he said, "Laugh out loud. Somebody's got to send the first nude though, right?" Good point. He said, "Laugh out loud. Somebody got to jump out there."
I've been told I'm approved. So it is what it is.
I'm starting to wonder like how did Paul get Nikki in the first place? I'm just saying. You told her, hey. So anyways, Paul said, "Talk that talk, Juan. Know your clients." Facts. Lana said, I want your trust. I don't mind if it comes with a bag though. Alright, that's what's up.
What you want? Look, you got a bag, that's even better. I'm just saying.
So Paul said yes, Katrina, the answer is yes. I think that's your question you just asked. And then Lana said women don't take responsibility though. Women are sometimes too aggressive and we get away with it. And that's true, because like even when you think about it from like a Me Too perspective and all that, women have done some things that if you were to flip this script,
it would be Me Too.
prime example, the recent thing with Chris Brown, the dancer kisses him in the middle of the performance, right? That's not something that they rehearsed. That's not something that they agreed to do. And if you know it was the other way around, if it was a male dancer that kisses Taylor Swift, or kisses Beyonce, you know, you out of there. You know what I'm saying? So. But even in relationships, I don't think I ever really liked women who were too aggressive. You know, it's kind of like okay, for instance, it's like, it's one thing, like I don't want a woman like grabbing at me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so a girl grabbing your meat is not sexy.
Like, I mean, especially like, it's one thing if we're together. It's another thing though if it's like we're just talking. And it's
some
like,
women do that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
some women do
I know other who grab me, touch like, girl,
like it's nothing.
I've been in situations where, no names being named, but I'm in situations where, you know, we kicking it and they be like, girl, it was big, I grabbed it. I'm like, what? Listen, I'm the kind of person where a lot of things that I hear, now that I'm older, it doesn't give me that much of a reaction, but 5 years ago, I was like, I just can't believe my ears and my eyes. Like, these things are going down. Like, I just had no idea.
Yeah, and you know, I'm more or less like, I'm kind of old fashioned. I want like the whole lady in the street, freak in the sheets type person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that is not what's being promoted, and that is not what men are looking for.
So, no. I can speak for the brothers when I say
you are a minority.
No, I'm not a minority in this.
Yes, you are.
A lot of men like something that's on a pole from a sexual standpoint. They like the titties and the breasts being out and the booties hanging out on IG. But the end of the day is, ask that same man if he wants to present that to his mom. You get what I'm saying? They'll have sex with that chick all day long.
They still marrying strippers. What you saying?
Some celebrities are. I'm talking about the everyday men that we talking about.
Everyday men. Okay, so for example,
everyday men are checking for strippers. Okay, brothers, help me out.
Not a stripper. Okay, but the same show that we're talking about, Ready for Love. Like, all the guys wanted basically like two main chicks. Now, all the women were gorgeous, in my opinion. But it was like the same, you know, with the same look. And it's like, wow, like, and then they get upset when that woman is not interested in them. And it's like, y'all all can't get the same girl. I mean, I'm trying to understand, why do all men want the same look. You don't want no kind of diversity. Like, as a woman, I can appreciate the diversity of black women. I see light, dark, thick, short, tall. I'm like, man, there's so many bad chicks on that show or in general, but for some reason, a lot of men are stuck with one type of woman, and I believe it's because they feel like that kind of woman is going to appeal and impress their friends.
But they don't want her booty all out. That's why Kanye just made the comment to Kim Kardashian recently. It was cool at first, but now he's saying that when she dresses too provocative, it affects him. It makes him feel away. She pretty much dismissed this behind in the comment from the clip I saw. But I mean, you know, before you got with her though, I mean, you know, Ray J hit it first. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's go to some comments real quick. Chris I know that was like really hater right there. Chris McKinney said, "I don't like to be asked, but showing your intent is cool." Now that's dope, right? That's like a comfortable, happy medium. Paul said, "I'm attractive to an assertive woman. Nikki told me from the jump what time it was. I loved it."
Okay, all right, Nikki.
Paul said, he said, "Man, I wish I could walk over there and that one and present. You teaching, bro. The same girl on. Hold up, I want to see the rest of the
Isn't that right there?
He said the same girl on the pole is not coming home to meet the parents, and that's facts. I'm just saying, most guys now. I know there's a couple of celebrities." You know, that married like the Cardi B's and, you know, the Cash Dolls of the world or whatever.
I just told
But there's a lot of men, your everyday men, they typically don't want that kind of girl being presented to their parents. Like, there's certain type of women you don't bring home. Because, you know, she too wild, she too salacious. You're like, that ain't a good look. Or who do you bring to the job? You know what I'm saying? For the work events, the people that you're willing to bring around professional. There's a different type of woman that men bring around professional.
You know, listen, because I have seen some of the most.
We know too many married couples in the area where these men got these professional women. All right,
that's true in this area, but I do know situations where strippers have gotten rings.
But that's a minority situation, though.
I know situations of college girls who was cool with the frats have gotten rings. So in my mind, I think men marry whatever is available at that current moment, because I think that men operate of, I'm ready to settle down, and whoever's in my life at the current moment, that's who I'm going to settle down with. I don't think men think like she got to have yada yada yada. I think it's more of like whoever's here, whoever I'm rocking with right now, that's who I'm going to settle down with. I don't think men think about marriage really long term.
Let me get your thoughts on that, Simona.
They selfish, first off. No disrespect. No disrespect.
I want to hear your opinion.
Glasses off.
Too selfish to just be like, I'm going to just deal with what this is right here. No. Men, they organize everything in their life. So that means the girl, like what Juan was saying, like, they want somebody that's going to be home, that they not worried about where she at, what she doing, she running out, going to the
What's up, Pop?
Extra stuff. They want somebody that's normal, they can sit and talk to, like how we all sit on the couch. They want to sit on the couch when they come home. They want to, like, somebody to eat cheese puffs. Not somebody that's just all crazy. You know, they think about this day-to-day stuff. So they can't just be with somebody that don't even know them, you know? Like, they're like, you don't even know me. Like, you want to be my girl forever? Like, I'm not about to give you a ring for what? I don't even know you. Like, they're too selfish. Sorry. No disrespect. But they're too selfish to just say, oh, you here, I'm going to give you a ring, outside of when they young and they got money and they just kind of showing off.
True.
Like, when they in that mindset, that's different. But, like, when they in I think in our demographic mindset, they thinking about who about to be at home with me, who about to be chilling with me. Is this dumb bitch going to be riding with me all day? No conversation. Young, alright, I can't do this forever. That's how, you notice, like, dudes, when they hit that 28 range, a lot of times the person they was riding with, they don't end up riding with them no more. Not because that's a bad person, but because they done grown up now, and they need somebody they can sit with and chill, watch TV. That ain't gonna piss them off while they try and watch the game.
She made some good points.
You made some valid points. I just know a lot of girls who, the profile you were talking about, who got rings. Lana, you know I'm telling the truth. I know these girls have rings, honey. And so it's like, half these basketball wives was been with plenty of basketball players.
Where are those relationships now, though?
Right. The point being is they got a ring.
That
was the point at hand. That was the point.
Before I go to the comments, because we got a lot of comments, but that's a Pyrrhic victory. To just get a ring and that marriage not last, what was the point of it? You know, the idea if you get married, you want to stay together. Right. Let me get some comments. So we got Real Henry say the freak can still be neat. Hey, I feel you. Paul said, but let's talk about age and maturity though. When I was younger, I wanted the same things that were popular on videos and stuff.
Right.
And that's true. Brothers have to go through a maturation stage, right? Then we have Chris McKinney said, I got to know the backstory. Lana said, nah, I don't agree. If she hides it well, you take her home. It's someone's aunt. Just saying. You know what I'm saying?
Lana talk that talk.
Okay.
Paul
can hide it real well.
Paul said,
get your little bob wig, glasses.
Paul said I couldn't disagree with Katrina more. Hold on, let me read the rest of the comment. He said I can't agree. He said I can't disagree with you more. So he firmly disagrees. He said, laugh out loud. I know plenty of men who want what they want and what they don't. Not just whoever is in the area.
And these men be sliding in the DMs though.
I'm just saying, but we talking about
sliding in the DMs.
You talking about what a man want on his arm though. There's a difference between what you would
had Leela Rashad, yeah, he was still out here with Nicole Murphy.
But no, but the point that we're trying to make, even with that, not justifying the cheating, right? You know, I know we're kind of sliding into relationships, but not justifying the cheating, but keep in mind his woman, right, is a certain type of woman. She has a certain type of stature about her. There's a certain kind of quality she has when you're talking about a wife, a mother, a partner. Everybody know Nicole Murphy been out there. Yeah, they want to smash them skins, but he's cool doing that out in Greece, but he ain't trying to bring her back to America.
See, Nicole Murphy is trying to secure the bag because her youngest child is like 17 now. She got 1 more year on Eddie Murphy child support.
And you don't think Antoine Fuqua don't know that? He probably double strapped up, okay? He was like...
Maybe. Point being is that it is hard for me as a woman to believe that y'all are telling me as a man that you are looking for a certain kind of woman because you guys have these kind of women, yet you're still stepping out. So in my mind, it's like, first of all, if you a married man, what do you need to be liking breast and butt out on Instagram? I see married men liking pictures of breast and butt out on Instagram. So it's like, I'm trying to understand.
They're not blind.
They're working.
I get it, but you're telling me that you like one thing, but you're liking another thing.
But they're liking their workout progress. That's what they're doing. They're liking their workout progress. Because half these girls claim to be like workout instructors or whatever. Yeah, I'm working out.
And then married men be in talk about, can you have friends? So in my mind, it's like, you obviously ain't content with what you got at home. You are interested in what looks like basically soft porn on Instagram.
Selfish.
That's true.
They selfish.
Hey, you know,
there's a lot
women
of people that are selfish like that. I don't want to limit that to just guys, because girls be doing them too.
You know, yeah. Let's get to the ladies. What are some things that we need to work on? So watching.
Let me read a comment real quick before you go. So Lana said women can perform and eat cereal. Laugh out loud.
Wow.
Rail said it depends on how she was raised, because I ain't he said, I ain't the ripest peach on the tree. Alright, hey, that's what's up.
Who said that?
Rail.
all right, brother Rail.
And then he said, Ilana said, Simona, I agree. He's not blind. And I mean, that's the thing, like, here's the thing, because the women, we're not going to take y'all out there. Y'all be liking everything Action Jackson got to say. What's his name? I can't stand it. I call him Action Jackson. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The little relationship guru that got in his house.
I like him.
Yeah, of course I like him. Because he buff, he chocolate, he got a nice smile. Exactly. Y'all don't even do it. Let me hear what he giving.
His name is
It's something Jackson. It's something Jackson.
No, listen.
I can't stand that.
We don't listen for his name.
Yeah, of course I don't look for his name.
He just said it.
So why y'all trying to come at the brothers for having eyes? Y'all got eyes too.
Oh, and then Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson, that's him. Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, Derek Jackson. Y'all love that family. You know what I'm saying? But y'all don't care about nothing he's saying. Exactly. He brown skin. He got a smile.
He always speaks from the point of view of a woman.
Exactly. He thirst sticking all day long.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. See how you just smile? All right. So we just established everybody has eyes. So we're not gonna drag men through the mud because everybody has eyes.
A little bit because we like him, but we ain't go through his page and like all his pictures from like 72 weeks ago.
Yes.
And look at Lana.
Talk about
when the dude started acting natural.
Yes.
You been like, damn.
It's true. The dude is interested in you. You be like, who are you? Out the blue, they just be like. You be like, dang.
So we talking about a little bit of dating because people are trying to figure out like where do you shoot your shot, right?
Right.
A lot of times people shoot their shot via the DMs, right? And a lot of social
it goes
media.
down in the DM.
I'm just curious, men and women, does it seem too thirsty when a dude is liking like 10 pics, like serial killer style? You look at your you look at your IG and it's like, because I've had it happen to me once. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was like a family member though, like an older aunt. But it was still weird though. It was still weird though. It was like, you don't realize it's kind of creepy. But it looks weird when you look on there and it's like, man, somebody done like 10 of my.
What did he say? He said, who is Axon Jackson? Girl, Derek Jackson.
For a friend.
So,
Derek Jackson.
The dark skinned guy with the six pack who I saw from his car.
Driving,
and all the guys can't stand him because he always talks from our point of view.
Always. He be on our side.
All right, so Christopher Kennedy made a good point. Hashtag open relationship life. That's a big thing right now, right?
Talks about that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people now, they're doing like, they want to be in a relationship with a woman and a man. You got some men that's like, let me get 2 women. You have the whole sexual fluid thing going on.
Yeah.
And I think that makes like, I don't want to say it makes dating weird, but then it gets even more interesting because then it's kind of like, there's a lot of rules. You hear about like,
there are rules.
There's like, you have like a comedian.
T-Pain.
T-Pain, the situation with his wife, they was bringing other people to the bedroom. But then you look at, what's his name, D-Ray.
Yeah.
Right? D-Ray's been in a relationship with 2 women for like the last, like, I don't know, 5 years?
Yeah.
Something crazy like that. But he's in a committed relationship with 2 women.
Right.
He has 2 women in his behind if he tries to cheat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's weird. Like, you have, this is like becoming very popular. Like, even Ja Denner came out recently and said he's going to pursue a sexual fluid relationship or a polygamous relationship because being with one person hasn't worked for him. But I guess my quick thought to that before we go to you guys about how you feel about it. My thing is, if you can't do right by one woman, what makes you think 2 women is going to fix it? Or adding a man or whatever. What makes you think that's going to work? If you can't do right and communicate properly with one woman, what makes you think adding another person to the mix is somehow going to make it work?
Well, I think
from a common sense standpoint.
I think people get caught up in the is it called nostalgia? Am I saying it right? Nostalgia. Like think about.
I wouldn't say nostalgia. I think
because think about it. Think about or maybe that's the wrong word, but people get caught up in the newness. The newness. There you go. I'm caught up in the newness. Okay. I think people get caught up like if you're with somebody for a very long time, you get bored. You're used to them. They're not as fine to you as they used to be before. But then, when you think back to when you first started dating somebody, everybody has that moment where you're like, this is fun, it's new, it's something enticing. So I think people feel like that's a way to spice it up. And I know people who are married for political and financial reasons. So in their mind, I'm going to stay with this individual because it's a financial gain. It helps me build legacy with my kids. But I can step out and do my thing. He can step out and do his thing. I think, I think that Wendy Williams was allowing her man to do his thing for a long time.
Basically that's what came out. He was pretty much praying for her and the side.
Yeah, for a long time. But until he had,
had that baby. He crossed the line.
That was it.
Let's see. Lana said, "Don't get bored. Get a wig." Hey, I feel you. You can jazz it with one person.
I think it's about that actually.
What you think it's about?
Now, and Rail said, you know what? He made a good point. He said, "Nah, that's double the headaches." Talking about adding in another woman.
But what?
And I feel you, brother, because you don't want 2 women hanging. You don't want 2 women hanging at you.
Why do you think people want open relationships and to be sexually fluid?
It's just about like what makes them happy. And what works in their world, you're not with somebody every day. You don't walk with them. You don't know what their day is like. Maybe they actually have started a relationship with someone. They love that person, and that person met someone else. It sounds crazy, but it happens. And then it's like, oh, what do? Do we have to follow society's constraints and no, we can't fuck with this person? And even though clearly both of us want this person too, like why wouldn't we do that? I couldn't say I'm not married, I'm single, I'd be doing me, but like if I was married, if I had my life partner and we found somebody that we wanted to talk to, that we wouldn't talk to them. This is my life partner. If that's what we want to do together, we're gonna do that shit.
So interesting thing. So with T-Pain's situation, his wife was the one that suggested the lady, right? Mm-hmm. But then what happened is they had some difficulties because what happened is I think it was all cool at first, but then when you start seeing your significant other start actually fall in love with the person. It's cool when it's a friendship, but then there's still, because people do that even with friends, right? I'm talking about that sexual friends. I'm talking about just your regular friends you hang out with, right? Let's say you've been best friends with somebody forever, and then when a new friend comes in, people even feel a way about that.
Territorial.
They're like, you know, exactly, territorial. It's, you know, this is kind of like my best friend, and now you're taking my best friend from me, right?
But
so
how
if
do
people
you come across from that though, you know?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if people feel like that with friends, it's got to be even heightened in an actual relationship.
But
though.
imagine the emotional maturity of being able to overcome that, because these people are doing this in these relationships. So it's not like what we think. We on the outside, we really don't know.
True.
So clearly they've worked something out to move beyond that, because they're still together. Imagine the level of communication that you have to have for 3 people.
But you can have that level. But I think a lot of times, so you know, communication is a big one, right?
Right.
My parents bring this one all the time about you got to communicate and everything. I think with communication, I think people can stand to be better communicators. Meaning, if you're a man and you know you find your eye wandering, I think you can actually conquer that better when you include your wife. And if the wife is open enough to be a friend to the husband and say, okay, I get it. What is it that's attracting me to it? And have a really open conversation about it. Now, I don't think you have to act on the desire per se. From my standpoint, I don't think you need to act on the desire. But I do think something that you're kind of hinting at from your perspective is that I guess if you can have an open dialogue about this attraction, how much stronger those relationships be. Now, I don't think you have to act on the attraction, but I do think there is something to a couple that would communicate that the desire, saying, hey, you know, I've been going to work and I've been attracted to this woman. And most people are going to flip out and be like, well, I'm leaving you, yada, yada, yada. But what would happen if that couple would say, hey, no one's cheated yet, nobody's done anything wrong.
Or okay, well, why? Let me see. Show me a picture.
No, I mean, but then have an open conversation. Why is this happening? Like? You know, talk to your wife. Well, why is it that this other man seems appealing? You get what I'm saying? Right. And if you were to be mature enough to have that conversation, I'm not trying to say bring the third person in, I'm saying, but let's see what holes do we have in our relationship that are causing us to think that we want something added to it or to go outside of it. You know what I'm saying?
True.
I think there's something to be said about that. I don't know if you have to necessarily act on it.
Right.
Some people do, and I think they're I think you're allowed to live your life how you choose.
It has to be wrong because we don't know how they end up with 3 people. You know what I mean?
I mean, you don't know.
You don't assume like every single one. The scenarios that it seemed like you were explaining to me sound like couples that have been together trying to spruce it up. Let's bring in a person. That's not how you spruce up a relationship. If you're the type of people that believe in like dealing with multiple people at a time, that's how you are. So the people you encounter in your day to day, they think similarly, but you do it enough that what you put out brings those people around you. So you're not meeting people that's thinking about monogamy. No, you're meeting people that think like how you think.
Other polyamorous people.
Exactly. You know that. Think about that, because like the things that we like draw us to each other.
Can I say one thing though that I think we're not touching on? It's funny you said people do that because it makes them happy, and then you were saying something about you're not going to act on it. I think when I talk to people who are like polyamorous, these are also the people who, when you talk to them, I could be wrong, but rarely do they have a goal and stick it out. Rarely do they have like a job and stay there for a long time. These are people who they just go with the wind. They just kind of lack discipline to some regard, in my opinion, because it's like every 5 minutes, like I just do what makes me happy. And that's fine, but that's not how life works. When you really think about a goal, you have to have some kind of discipline. And sometimes the discipline, it hurts. And sometimes it's denying of yourself.
I think they say something like, what's the pros and cons to structure and what's the pros and cons to just kind of like living life day by day, right? Both probably have benefits and stuff, but then when you think long term, you might come to a different conclusion. Before we get back to that, let me read some comments here. So from Chris McKinney, he said, it seems like too much. He's like, I'm interested to see what's the results of these open relationships 20 years from now. Good point, right? Lana McKinney said, I think being open is about a choice. When you're with multiple people, you don't make a final decision and get abstained from other people. Chris came back, the McKinney's is getting in on it. They said, because the popularity of their lifestyle is relatively new, so let's see how people feel later in life. Millennials be wilding. That's what Rail said. I feel you, man. He's like, y'all just wilding, all right? He just kept it simple. I like that. Chris said, I appreciate the freedom and confidence in the decision making, but ultimately the verdict is still out. She has a point. Coming from Rail.
Well, yeah, but to Simona's point, when she said you have to have emotional maturity and I guess maturity in your communication, so that's true. Like, because it's hard to even coexist with one other person.
Right.
So the fact that you're adding people to the pot and y'all are all under the same understanding, y'all all love each other, y'all all communicate. It's impressive. It's definitely impressive.
And then I think also you have to start considering the broader range of what your goal is of the relationship, right? Typically, for those following a Christian monogamous relationship, the idea is the two become one flesh, right? And together they build a life together, right? Taking on the weaknesses and strengths of the other person, trying to accommodate the dreams of both people to create this thing that works and this legacy they can build and pass on. You have to, I think with the poly thing, you have to start considering, all right, well, what's the end goal of this relationship? Is this long lasting? Is this like, because it's already hard enough for two people to do it. So then you start thinking about like, well, now we're looking at for the benefit of 3 or 4 or 5, whatever the situation is, to like, we're going to actually share in and then build this life for all these people. You know, groups of friends typically don't stay around that long. You know, once you start having babies and everything, things change. So just think about how that would impact a relationship. You know.
But when did society change to monogamy? Because we're talking from a Christian standpoint, most people in the Bible were practicing polygamy.
That's true, but even then, if you think about the history of the Jewish community, they looked at their wives as property, not as partners. So when you start looking at the idea of like Muslims and maybe like even some of your what are they?
Amish.
The Amish, and there's another group out there, the Mormons. Like a lot of times, those relationships they have with those wives, they're not of like, there's no equality there. There's no like sharing. It's I'm the man. Key thing here for a lot of these brothers talking about I want multiple wives. In all of these faiths, the men are expected to provide for all of them and all the kids, right?
Yeah.
So they're expected to be providers and provisioners and protectors of all of that. But a lot of times, one thing you don't see in those relationships is like real communication with the wives, like a real get to knowing and understanding. A lot of times the wives become sister wives, and they find that within each other. Kind of like a lion in his pride, right? He'll go around smashing every woman in the pride or every lioness in the pride. He'll make babies with all of them, and he'll circle 600 acres of land to protect them all from hyenas or whatever. But it's not like he has a distinct relationship with each one of them. If anything, the women become a pride that have a relationship with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that it's possible in these kind of relationships that there is one woman who is more cherished by the man? Like, for example, Jacob, he cherished Rachel.
Yeah, I mean, I think that happens naturally though. You're gonna like people more than others. Like you have a group of friends, and still that one friend you like more than other people. So I mean, I can see that in a relationship.
Couldn't that call jealousy though? Jealousy?
I mean, it could.
They don't have the emotional maturity to be in that relationship. Then.
I think it takes a special kind of person if they were really going to pursue that.
They're not ready for it. They're not here yet. Like you got to be on that same page. Like you got to be able to deal with stuff like that, because it is. If you're naturally jealous and you talking to a guy and a girl and you watching them together, you're going to be jealous. But what are you going to do about that? What would you say? Are you going to act? So what's your action? Your action is really going to define you in that moment. Like, are you going to be like, okay, wait, we signed up for this. Let me put my big girl pants on, and how can I make this a positive? You know, instead of like bringing it down when I'm the one that signed up for this. Like, where's your accountability? Like, it didn't end up there by chance.
Yeah, exactly. Going to our comments. So Chris chimed in. He said, "We don't live in a culture that's supportive of these alternative poly lifestyles." That's true. The way that our tax codes are designed, it's actually illegal in most states except for Utah to even be in a poly.
Yeah, we live in a culture that supports adultery instead.
From tax. Well, hey, because the same people that write these laws, they sure enough be breaking them. Just like we just had a guy recently, I think in Ohio, he was super anti-LGBT, and he just had to step down from office or something like that because, coming to find out, he was in a relationship with a gay man. So he's pro-marriage, he's pro-this and all that.
Stop it.
And just
he was gay. But he was
super anti-LGBT. And the thing is,
a lot of.
Hey, what's up, Sonya? And we see this a lot though, because even the attackers, it was 5 politicians.
I'm so confused.
There was 5 politicians that went after Bill Clinton really hard when he was in office, Republicans, right? And they was talking about how disgraceful the Monica Lewinsky scandal was. And coming to find out, all 5 of these politicians were cheating on their wives or in gay relationships. But they were so quick to speak on other people. So I think something that can just be said from that alone is, sometimes we're too quick to speak out on what's wrong with someone else, and we need to be worried about the person we looking at in the mirror.
Right.
Just saying, there's something to think about. And then Chris had another comment. He said, structural discipline has to exist in order to be successful. So, and I think even for those that's looking at the poly thing, but that takes a lot of structure and discipline. And are those people as free thinking as they really think they are to make that work? Just something to think about.
I want to say about the guy who was gay but speaking on LGBTQ. One thing I feel like I get that coming out is difficult. I'm not gay, so I can't say that I understand the experience. But I want people to be able to live their truth and do it comfortably, because when we're talking about relationships, what I hate to hear is women who marry men thinking he was really into me, we have kids, and he's like, yeah, I'm leaving you for a man. Like, that's devastating. You know what I mean? I'd rather that man just be able to live his truth. If you want to go out there and be spicy with your partner, be spicy with your partner. You know, I think I love it. Like, if you happy that way, I'm here for it. But when I see people like trying so hard to deny themselves and try to adopt a lifestyle that's more, I guess, acceptable by society, and then it's like you're affecting not just yourself but everybody, because now you got kids trying to understand, well, why is dad with this man, and then you got the woman who's like, it's beyond just cheating. He been left me for a man. Like, he didn't leave me for somebody with the same assets as me. He left me for somebody totally different kind of package. Right. So all I'm saying is that if you are watching this and you feeling that you are attracted to the same sex, I would encourage you to live your truth. Just go and live your truth.
I will say this.
I would encourage you.
I will say this, and this is kind of like this will be like my final sum up on relationships and dating, and we'll go to our last topic, which is probably funny. But I would say people should be honest with themselves first, right?
Yes.
If you're dating a man or a woman, you should go into the dating season knowing what do you want from this. Do you want somebody to keep you warm during the winter months? Or are you looking for someone that you're going to build with, right? Are you open to it? And when someone asks you a question, can you give them an honest answer? If you're looking for midnight thrills and, a couple of quick vacations with a boo, be honest with yourself first, as that's what you really want.
Right.
And then communicate what your intention is.
Right.
Right? And for women, if you know that you're going into relationships because you have a desire to be a dependent. Yes, I said what I said. You have a desire to be dependent. You tired of working. Life to beat you down. You looking for a captain safe.
You communicate that arrangement. As a matter of fact, I got a DM the other day from that man talking about, I'm a sugar daddy.
Yeah, that one dude, he up there DMing girls talking about I'm a sugar daddy. But I mean, communicate that desire, because let's be honest. There's a lot of men, especially Southern men. I know a lot of Christian Southern men that don't even want their women working. They want them at home. But keep in mind, these brothers expect meals. They expect houses.
She gonna work harder.
They're very chauvinistic and they're very sexist.
I mean, I'm just saying, but like communicate what that desire is, though. And so I think a lot of this is be honest with yourself. Know where you are. Yep. Know what you want. And then don't be afraid to tell somebody, hey, you know what? Slim, I've been thinking about it. Yeah, this is where I'm at. I don't really want that. You get what I'm saying? And I think that keeps you from getting into the relationship that ends in divorce. That keeps you from getting with the person and you're like, oh man, no, that was just too much. I didn't expect all that, because you have your own preconceived idea. But then you both have misconceived ideas because no one is being honest about what it is that you really wanted. You get what I'm saying? So I think honesty is key.
All right, next topic.
We only got like 6 minutes left, so we're going to blaze this one out.
This one is real spicy.
All right, so pastors gone wild. I don't think pastors per se have been wild, but, some pastors have been wild. Hold on, before I get to it. Okay. Christopher McKinney said, in history, poly lifestyles have been supported by a culture with strict relationship roles. And that kind of echoes what we talked about earlier. A lot of times they have a specific position in what they play in that role. Yeah. But going to these pastors gone wild. So it's not really pastors.
It's a pastor.
But a particular pastor whose women's population probably has grown if they foul like that. Pastor Wilson. So for those that don't know,
he should be
you've probably seen in your timeline Pastor Wilson jokes. So basically what Pastor Wilson has done is there is a video that leaked of him giving a woman some oral pleasure.
Did you say fellatio for a woman or no?
No. The term is Cunnilingus. Cunnilingus.
Okay.
That is the proper term that a man uses for a woman.
He was giving her tongue.
I mean,
all types of tongue.
So anyways, And so now the family's heard.
Whose family?
Whose family?
His family, because
his wife.
So yeah, because the woman that's taping him wasn't his wife.
Of course.
If it was his wife taping it, I wouldn't even be talking about it right now. I mean, that's their business.
She was sitting there like, well, I mean, I don't know, but
it was obvious he's being filmed.
I just don't understand. Why would you put yourself in that predicament?
And
someone help me. Someone help Katrina. I have to understand what is going through the mind of a man to understand that you have this leadership position and that you will allow someone to film you basically being in the act of adultery and that it can literally ruin the entire ministry. What are you thinking about?
So I can tell
what
you.
Are you thinking
I can tell you what they're thinking. I want to hear Simona too. But like when you look at the Kevin Harts of the world, when you look at the Bill Cosbys, when you look at all these men who have cheated on their wives and then got in trouble as a result, right?
Arrogance.
I think it's something about power, right? Mm-hmm. You start operating at a point to where you think you're above the law, or you're above circumstances. It's like, like pastors, they have a lot of, because like half these dudes that these women be going after at the church, like I know that if he was just, Bob the postman, women wouldn't be checking for him. But it's something about that power that he has.
It's true.
The women are now attracted to him.
It's true. Right? You can literally be, I've seen people in the church, like, just real Dexter kind of chick guys. The moment they say I'm called to ministry, start getting a little bit of power. And they're reverend so all of a sudden it's like this is the same Dexter from last year. Last year Bible camp, really?
Right.
Groupies are in every area of life.
Same thing with Greek life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing with Greek life.
So I'm just saying. So I think part of it is groupies do exist in every area of life, and some people can't handle that amount of popularity. I mean, even if you was to get biblical with it, and you go to the Bible, you look at David and what he did with Bathsheba, right? First of all, a lot of times men are in the wrong place at the wrong time. If you look at the scripture for a reference, he was supposed to be at a war fight with his men, but he decided to stay back.
Listen,
and then he's chilling on the top.
And he saw that. Castle. He saw her name Bathsheba. He saw that backside. It was like, hold on.
And you know what I'm saying? And
he said he had no cell phone. We gonna match that cell phone. Who her husband? Let me call my right hand man. Her husband who? Oh, he down there. Put him on the front line.
Yeah, trying to kill him.
So that he can die. Because when he died, I'm about to be up in them guts. Why he on the front line?
He was already up in them guts. That's the problem. And she was supposed to be pregnant. Yes. And so he tried to get her home. All that. He's like, yo, this brother about to get me caught up. But to bring it down to like everyday situations, you have these pastors like Jamal Bryant and all of that. They be messing with these young girls. And I think what happens is they get to a point, whether it's a politician or not, they get to a point where they start thinking they're above the law, or they don't know how to handle that public persona. I know some actors, I know some football players and basketball players, that's why you hear about them bringing their wife on the road. They kind of protect them from themselves.
I agree.
You get what I'm saying? I think a lot of these men, they haven't created something to protect them from themselves. You're still a man. You still have sexual desires. You're going to be a pastor possibly in lust, but once again, are you going to act on that lust? And if you have an accountability partner, if it can't be your wife, it's another minister or somebody. If you're a politician, someone else you can just talk to and say, hey, look, this is what I'm dealing with. I know I can't do this. It's going to ruin my career. It's going to ruin my ministry. It's going to ruin my campaign for this office. What do I do? And I think a lot of times, goes back to what I said earlier, I think we're not honest with ourselves, what our real struggles and what our hangouts are, and do we put things in place to protect ourselves from ourselves.
I think a lot of those men are insecure, though. To your point, because when I think about, for example, Chance the Rapper, he was just on Instagram recently saying that him and his wife were celibate up until they had got married because he read the book The Wait, and a lot of rappers were like clowning him like, you corny. But I think that he is so secure with himself that I don't think he cares who thinks he's corny. So I don't think he's the kind of man that's going to cheat. I mean, I could be wrong, but he don't give me that vibe. Whereas you meet some guys who are insecure and they concerned about what the next man thinks.
So going to our Facebook audience, I love our Facebook audience. They're always interactive, and that's what makes the Nitty Gritty show so great. So Real said, nah, he wrong for that. Christians as a whole took an L on that one. That's what it felt like.
All up in it, like.
Yeah, because people couldn't wait to talk about Christians. You know what I'm saying? So like, you don't just hurt yourself when you make these decisions. You affect someone else. Lana said he was thinking about that cat.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's all he was thinking about.
If you saw the video, you know what he was thinking.
And then Rail said, nah, he went against the grain on that one.
He should be embarrassed.
He should be embarrassed. Took an L on that one. Yeah, so, no, I mean, like, yeah, he should be embarrassed.
And he should not have a ministry. Can I say that before we go? He should not have a ministry. I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, he made a mistake. He messed up." No, when you are called to ministry, you are called to a different standard. That's just the facts.
Any kind of service, though, like even as a politician, right? I mean, yeah, humans are going to be humans, but I feel like whenever you put yourself to a higher call of life, it doesn't have to necessarily be in church, right? Because I know not everybody here watching is Christian, but maybe it might just be something that you're going to do in life. Keep in mind there's certain standards that people expect of you, and if you want to get the most out of that, i.e. Steve Bezos, richest man in the world, richest company in the world, but going to lose a good portion. Hey, see you later, IG. Sorry, we signing off. The hour is up.
I don't even think Steve cares.
He don't. I mean, obviously he doesn't care. I mean, rich man, you think he's too good. Lana said, at Cat, I agree. He needs to be sat down. Straight up. I mean, because you just hurt yourself. It's like, you have enough to be worried about, and then you're going to give yourself the added task of now trying to get past a scandal. It's kind of stupid, and it's short-sighted. Chris said, would you say the same thing about someone who is gay in a pulpit? Ooh, man, that's a good one.
Wait, what you mean? That he should be sat down?
I'm talking. I guess he said there's someone in general that's gay, but we're out of time.
No, but I want to know what he means.
Well, let's see if he writes back quickly.
Yeah,
we're like technically over time.
Yeah, but I want to know what he means. Like, you mean?
I think he's talking about like a gay pastor though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Meaning that he should be sat down.
He's gonna have to DM that question.
Because that's a whole other conversation. So yeah, like somebody who's gay in the pulpit. I mean, well, so. Do we even want to touch that one? I
don't want to touch it because, you know, people be watching and stuff like that.
I will say
this. Live your truth.
I will say, depending on what.
If your congregation okay with it, you go right ahead.
I'm going to say this right here. Depending on whatever doctrine within Christianity you subscribe to.
Right, because there are different ones.
Now, you can say that a man is a few days and born of sin, right? And therefore they might struggle with certain sins. And if you're going to label gay as a sin, then you can say that someone struggles with being gay. I think it's different from that pastor that maybe acts on it versus the one who just struggles with it. I.e. like a Donnie McClurkin, because he subscribes to the idea that being gay is a sin. He knows he struggles with being gay. As a result, that's why he's never been married, because he doesn't want to bring a woman into what he considers to be his mess. But is he any less of a Christian if he's struggling with it and not acting on it? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's not.
So depending on what doctrine of Christianity you subscribe to, I think that would kind of answer it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's all kind of different kind of Christians out there. Some believe one thing, some believe the other.
I think if the congregation is okay with it, then okay.
I mean, but even he shouldn't be sleeping around with all the men and brothers in the church, because then he needs to be sat down.
Well, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't, you're not supposed to be promiscuous.
Now, if he has just one partner and the church says that it's fine, then go ahead. But to your point, if he out here just any old kind of way, whether man or woman,
that's still sleeping around. He should be better the same scrutiny as a straight pastor, right?
Yeah. So,
Lana said he's been watching Greenleaf. Excuse him.
Wow.
Chris said, "Don't shirt alert." The Godfather of Harlem. All right, so we'll have to check that out.
Okay.
Look, we're out of time. I wanted to do a song that was going to kind of like encompass what we were talking about today. So I did the Cuffin season song to end with. I want to end with this one right here. Y'all know the song. And some of y'all looking for a buddy right now, a B.U.D.Y. So I will encourage you, go forth with the force. I hope you find what you're looking for. If you don't know, this is Musiq Soulchild from his Luvanmusiq album, B.U.D.Y. Yeah, this came out in 2007. I hope y'all know, music is dope. But some of y'all looking for a buddy right now. Simona, thank you for being on today. We love having our TNGS Extended Family with us. I was loving the hair and everything too, so that's what's up. A lot of great insight. And we'll be back next Sunday, 8 p.m. It's your boy Jay DeCosta. And together we are the Nitty Gritty. Simona, tell people where they can find you if they want to follow you. And like all your pictures, like 10 at a time.
At Mona Loves Hair.
At Mona Loves Hair.
Yeah.
Alright, and that's IG?
Yep.
Alright, that's what's up. So look, we out, y'all.